One of my calls this year is that the majority of these cryptocurrencies out there are going to basically become illegal. The SEC takes the position that the vast majority, meaning 90, 95, maybe 99% of these these tokens out there, whatever you want to call these cryptocurrencies, are unregistered securities. Many people forget that the same definition that you and I use, hopefully use, when we're talking about real estate syndication. If you've heard me talk about, what is a security? Is this a security now? We always talk about this layman's definition that comes from the Howey test. But I just always say, anytime you're taking money from passive investors where the returns are being generated by your efforts, you're in the business of selling security. And that's how we analyze in the real estate syndication world, of whether something's a joint venture or a security or what have you. And most syndications obviously are securities offerings. And then we comply with, we either register it or we find an exemption, right? 506B, 506C. That's the exact same rules, by the way, that apply to these tokens and what we call kind of loosely cryptocurrencies. And there's a specific case. The SEC has actually decided to go after one particular company, which is one of the largest companies, called Ripple. Not going to get into the details of that, but basically the SEC is contending that Ripple is a security because it basically raised a bunch of money back in 2014 and actually continued. And basically the returns are being generated by the efforts of the centralized Ripple. And by the way, Ripple is a legit company. They are in the business of facilitating international money transfer. So almost like a what are these companies called? Like a DHL or something where I can, not DHL, sorry. What's the company where I can wire money right now or just send money internationally? It takes forever. The fees are really high. Ripple allows you to do that instantaneously through their system. So the business itself is legit. The challenge is the token, which is XRP. The SEC is taking the position that that is a security. And I think the ruling will come down this year or next year in 2023. And I think the SEC is going to win. And I think Ripple is going to be considered, or XRP, their token, is going to be considered a security, which then by definition will have, pun intended, a ripple effect on the rest of the industry, because 99% of all these other tokens out there are also going to be unregistered securities offering, and they're all going to be found illegal. The only cryptocurrency that currently is almost assured or guaranteed is not a security is Bitcoin. That's the only one that the SEC has come out and said it's a commodity. We're not going to regulate it like crypto. But even Ethereum and all these other major ones have a major risk of being considered an unregistered offering and illegal according to the SEC, which will make probably the vast majority of this cryptocurrencies go away, which is what a lot of people are predicting anyway. I don't think that's a huge prediction on my part. It's going to be very, very similar to the internet craze of 1999 and 2000, when you had, pet.com and anything that was anything related to the internet. Most of those went to zero. I don't know if anybody had any pet.com stocks, but that went from whatever it was, $1 billion valuation, down to zero. And then there were a few that survived, right? The Googles, the Amazons, the Facebooks of the world, they obviously survived and thrived. And I think that's what you're going to see here. But I think that's going to come down in 2023. And I think the vast majority of these cryptos are going to be held as illegal. Since I'm on crypto, I'll throw my other brief prediction here that I do think crypto's got a lot of space to fall here. I think you're going to see a bottom at the beginning of 2023 in that $8,000 to $12,000 range. I think a lot of these crypto miners are going to be going bankrupt. You've already seen them go bankrupt because of the price. The price of Bitcoin has gone down, and the price of the electricity that it takes to mine these things has gone up. So I'm predicting a lot of bankruptcies on the miner side in 2023. And I think the price will bottom out somewhere in that $8,000 to $12,000 range. So if you're bullish long-term on Bitcoin, that'll be my, which I am, by the way, that's going to be my opportunity to dive in there. So anyway, that's my little crypto rant. And by the way, another prediction maybe in that realm is I predict we will continue to see, our office probably is getting 2 to 3, maybe 4 calls a month on syndicators who are interested in or are wanting to securitize and tokenize their syndications. And I think that's going to continue. I predict next year we'll probably double or triple that amount. And like I said, here's the next 5 years, I think the majority of syndications will actually become tokenized. So if that's something, if you plan to be syndicating here in the next 5 years, it's something you may want to just take a quick look at. We did a live episode on that, and I've done a couple of videos on that if you want to just kind of get the basics of how tokenizations work. Which, by the way, from a securities law standpoint, it's no different than anything else. It's still, you have to register, find an exemption, whether it's 506B, 506C, all of that stuff is the same. It's just literally a digital representation of your LLC membership units.